So when the divorce is final, is she ready to marry you?
Man, I don't know if I'm gonna be ready to marry her. And I say this because, like, she still has things that, even when he's going out the picture, that she needs to work on. Like, because just when,
Already a lot.
you know what I'm saying?
I'll be like, man, that's already a lot.
That's what I
invested a lot. But he just said invest.
When you invested, it's just hard to let something go when it's like,
I'm not saying to wait that out,
just
though,
like
man.
wait, just like maybe just chill.
That's what he's doing.
oh, that's what I'm doing.
That's what he's doing.
Chilling.
You're not chilling, bruh.
He's
Put
making
yourself
it
back
just-
on the market.
Take your time, bro.
I didn't say, no. I'm not out here searching for another woman. Like, hell no.
Ken looked like a man caught in a dream he never truly signed up for. At first, being with Trisha seemed exciting, maybe even romantic, but now it feels like that dream is sliding straight into a legal nightmare. On the surface, it looked like your typical messy reality TV relationship. A man falls in love with a woman still stuck in the middle of a long divorce. He sees himself as the hero who will save her from the chaos. Slowly, though, he realizes he's just another page in a story that's been dragging on for far too long. But things changed the moment a judge stepped in. With one ruling, Ken's role went from being about love to being about the law. The court basically told him, marry her or move out. It wasn't a suggestion, it was an order. To really grasp how wild this situation is, we have to rewind a little.
I'm trying to get Trisha to understand is that that whole privacy thing that she has going on doesn't work for our relationship anymore. Like, if I ask her a question to her is an accusation. And I'm like, no, an accusation is an accusation. An accusation is me telling you, you did this. Me asking you a question is trying to figure out what actually went on, and it's not me. I can't tell you what you did if I don't know what you did. You gotta tell.
Trisha and her ex, Marquez, had been locked in a divorce that felt endless. For 3 whole seasons, fans watched their petty back-and-forth arguments, their endless courtroom battles, and a daughter stuck right in the middle of it all. When the divorce papers were finally signed, most people thought the nightmare was over. Finally, it was time to move on. But instead of closing the book, the end of the divorce opened an entirely new chapter, and somehow it was even messier. The court didn't just end the marriage and walk away. No, the judge laid down some of the strictest post-divorce rules fans had ever seen. First, Trisha was given primary custody of their daughter. That part made sense. Publicly, she had appeared to be the more stable parent, but Marquez wasn't cut out of his child's life completely. He was allowed visitation, but with strict conditions. No overnights unless he could prove he had his own stable home, all utilities in his name, and 3 back-to-back clean drug tests.
I'm not okay with is you trying to make it seem like I have issue with men that no, it's the issue is with you. How you talking to me? You didn't talk. You don't do that when you on. You don't do that when you're around nobody else. You don't care about me either. Why would you do? Why would you go harder on somebody you care about than somebody you don't care about? That absolutely makes no sense.
I don't have no.
That makes no sense. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be more subtle and more open to communication with me.
Because it's frustrating me that you keep asking me. That's
It's not keep asking. I only ask you when the situation and you lied.
Judges don't hand out those kinds of requirements just for fun. That's not a detail someone throws into paperwork casually. It only happens when there are serious concerns. Clearly, someone raised a red flag about Marquez. Maybe it was his lifestyle. Maybe it was whispers of drug use. Maybe it was his behavior around the child. Whatever the reason, the court took it seriously. And while Marquez scrambled to prove he could meet those requirements, Trisha was suddenly hit with her own shocking ultimatum. The court ordered that Trisha was not allowed to live with any romantic partner unless she was legally married to that partner. That meant no boyfriend, no live-in partner, no just staying over. If it wasn't marriage, it wasn't allowed. And the rule wasn't flexible, it was immediate. That's where Ken came in. He'd been living with Trisha, or at least spending most of his nights there. With this new order, the court made the choice for them. Either Trisha and Ken got married by 5 p.m. on August 25th, or Ken had to move out immediately. No easing into it, no gradual transition, he had to be gone. This wasn't just relationship pressure. This was a legal deadline, and it shook everything. The internet lit up when the news broke. Fans and followers had plenty of opinions, and they weren't shy about sharing them. Some people warned Ken to leave while he still could, calling Trisha manipulative, emotionally unavailable, and incapable of commitment. Others turned the spotlight on Ken, saying he was unstable, maybe even on steroids, and way too obsessed with a woman who didn't seem to truly want him. There were even comments about how Ken's interactions with Marquez's kids seemed off, setting off more red flags. The bottom line was clear. Fans didn't want Ken anywhere near Trisha's daughter unless he got his act together. But the deeper issue was this. Almost nobody actually believed Trisha wanted to marry him. Trisha's hesitation was nothing new. Every time someone asked her about marrying Ken, she had a reason to delay. First, she said she needed to finalize her divorce. Then, she claimed she needed time to heal. After that, she insisted she wanted to focus on her daughter. It was always something. But now, the excuses were gone. The divorce was final. The court gave her a deadline, and still she dragged her feet. Fans began to wonder, if she really loved Ken, wouldn't she have taken the chance to lock things down, especially with a judge giving her no choice? Instead, Trisha acted like someone weighing her options, uncertain about whether Ken was truly the man she wanted to build a future with. Ken noticed it too. More than once, he confided in friends, asking whether this whole relationship was worth it. He began questioning if he was being used, and when a man starts asking that question, the relationship is already in dangerous territory. But here's the twist. Even though Trisha looked unsure, she never actually told Ken to leave. It was like she wanted the benefits of a relationship without the commitment. She had a man to help around the house, someone to play dad when it was convenient, but no legal or emotional strings attached. And that's what made fans suspicious. Things got even messier when the child support details surfaced. Marquez was ordered to pay just $300 a month in support. That amount shocked everyone. $300 barely covers groceries for a growing child, let alone clothes, school supplies, and extracurricular activities. The question became, is Marquez broke, or is he hiding income? Either way, the amount painted him as someone who wasn't carrying his share of the responsibility. And when Marquez wasn't contributing enough, guess who ended up picking up the slack? Ken. Now, that opened another problem. If Trisha wasn't sure about marrying Ken, why was she okay with him stepping in financially like a husband? Fans saw it as manipulation. Trisha wanted support without commitment. Here's where the situation takes a dangerous turn. If Trisha and Ken continued living together without being married, they would be breaking a direct court order. That's not just bad optics, that's a violation with serious consequences. And once that gets reported, it will land them straight back in court. If Marquez wants to cause trouble, all he has to do is tell the judge that Trisha is violating the order. That could trigger a custody review, and she risks losing time with her daughter. Ken isn't just risking his heart here, he's risking his freedom. If the court sees him as a bad influence or a liability, the consequences won't stop at Trisha. They'll fall on him too. Ken has already started to show signs of cracking under the pressure. He's become defensive, short-tempered, and increasingly unpredictable. Some people even speculate that steroids might be fueling his behavior. There's no solid proof, but in situations like this, perception often matters more than facts. If the judge believes Ken is unstable, it won't just damage his reputation. It will affect Trisha's custody arrangement as well. Meanwhile, Marquez isn't sitting quietly in the background. Many viewers see him as manipulative, using the legal system to his advantage. his $300 child support feels less like an honest contribution and more like a symbolic jab, a way of doing the bare minimum while making life harder for Trisha. At this point, fans are exhausted. What once made for entertaining TV has turned into a slow-motion train wreck. The cycle of fighting, blaming, and repeating has played out for 3 seasons, and while the adults keep circling the same arguments, the one person who has no say, the daughter, is forced to grow up in the middle of it all. This is no longer just about reality TV drama. A child's well-being is at stake. Now, everything comes down to choices. Trisha has to decide whether she truly wants Ken as part of her future. If she does, she needs to commit fully and make it official. If she doesn't, she needs to finally cut ties and let him go. Ken has to face his own truth too. Does he keep pouring himself into a situation that was broken long before he arrived? Or does he walk away before he loses himself completely? Because when courts get involved, there's no room left for maybe. Either you build something strong enough to last, or it falls apart piece by piece. And right now, this relationship looks like a house of cards. One wrong move, one angry report, one conversation too many, and the whole thing could collapse. This isn't just reality TV anymore. It's a battle of love, law, and loyalty. One wrong step could cost Trisha custody, Ken his freedom, and Marquez his last shred of credibility. What happens next could change everything. Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe.